Okay. There's so many things that I want to share. I have different stories and also different marketing ideas, but I am going to try to convey the demographic of who I'm going after. It's very confusing. It's confusing because I am known in certain circles as the Jewish singles travel company. And in some ways, it's a really great niche market because people do like to travel with people that they already have, at least like one thing in common with. And so, it's not religious at all or anything like that, but people can say like a Yiddish word and know that the other people in the group will have an idea of what they're talking about. That does not mean that it's exclusive, and I definitely have people who are not Jewish come on the trips. I also have people who are not single come on the trips. But there is something about a person, particularly an older single, that they find, um, traveling with other singles like really nice. Not that long ago, I had an event where this one woman, it was like a larger party type thing. I was doing a beach, it was a it was a weekend away in Jamaica. Um, and all she kept saying, I have, because she was older and all her friends were married, that all of a sudden she has people who she can talk to, and like she was, and have something in common with. She's like, I haven't been around so many singles in such a long time. And I, being as an older single, completely relate to not wanting to be in a group with just couples and things like that. The people that um, who are couples on our trip. I mean, some of them have been coming separately as as single, and then coming with their spouse or partner. So it's confusing for me because I don't want to get rid of that element. But it also is not, I need to have a bigger market. When I, started the market, was relatively small, and there weren't that many other travel companies. And now there's so many. So, um, we'll talk about what distinguishes Steppin out a little bit, but it is it's hard for me to figure out how to, expand. I think that um, doing certain that, kind of have that singles vibe, and then like something, it's interesting because something like Bhutan, I thought I would get more partners for, but instead, it's all singles. And it also may be that singles have more time. I mean, a lot of these people who, are divorced, who have older kids, or want to travel that way. So um, it's not singles to meet up with your mate. It's more of a community of like-minded people that you kind of feel comfortable with. And um, I also think that being somewhat adventurous and not being like a just a like a tour around an area or something like that, um kind of selects the type of person that I like to work with that, has that bit of curiosity, ready to take a challenge. People generally who have that are a little more outgoing. So, so that's kind of one element. And the other piece, and that's like for my groups. And then the other thing that I'm doing is and trying to get people to know that I can do custom trips. What I've been saying is my connections and the people that I'm meeting is making it, to make a special trip for anyone who wants. I think between the kind of solo traveler and maybe just the general trips and then reaching out for the custom can be where I want to go. And I know I sound a little wishy-washy. So what distinguishes our trips? First, it is more personalized. I do talk to people. I find out what they are, looking for. I had, I think I told you about the guy who, gave me, was signing up for the Brazil trip and then asked me if he was going to find his soulmate. And I sent him his money back. Well, I told him I was going to first. And I told him that, I was working so hard to put this amazing experience together for Brazil that's unique and special. And if he goes and doesn't meet his soulmate, he is not going to be happy and he's not going to love the trip. And no matter what. So sent him his money back. And then he called me a few days later and he said, he keeps looking at the itinerary. He loves it. He wants to go. He did go on the trip, did not meet his soulmate, but he made some amazing friends that he still says that he is friends with and is one of my, best word of mouth promoters about our trips. So, that in one sense is a demographic. I'm just like going all over the place here, so we'll cut this out. But I was talking about the personalization that I actually talk and I figure out with people. I do have, and I think we're going to talk about doing, maybe once a month on a Zoom call, or having people come on and ask questions about the trip and things like that. We could talk about doing some other types of Zoom, but I try and make those connections with people right away. I'll connect people and say, you're coming from the same place, you should work on an itinerary together. There is a lot of hold handing. And, and getting people ready for the trip. I think the other distinction with Steppin' Out is that I don't try to, get everywhere in a country. For the most part, I find it, to immerse into a particular area, get to know the people, the location. We may not be going and seeing everything, but the places that we do go, we get a deeper sense of. So I also do not do anything like, a bus sightseeing tour or going to different places just to take pictures. It is again all about immersing into an experience that helps you understand the country and get a sense of their traditions through meeting the people or participating in the traditional activities that the country has going on at the time, or trying to think of, like those different, I guess also like being more active, being in the outside, doing things, that you probably would never try, whether it's archery or I remember in South Africa, we went, I forgot the name of what it's called, but you use your hands as paddles and you're flipping and flopping down what was called the Black Gorge. So there's all kinds of interesting things that I look for, interesting people for people to meet, and I always try to think about what we could do to maybe contribute back to the country that we're visiting. So I'm going to stop here because I think I'm rambling, but that's a start.